Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, welcome to Real Estate Sips with Sandy and Shay. And listen, we're excited to have you with sip number 2.
Yes, yes. And on sip number 2, today we welcome our second guest, Stanley Caroma. Hi, Stanley. Thank you for coming.
Yes, cheers with you, Stan.
Yes,
Stan the man with the plan.
Stanley, how old are you, Stanley?
24. My birthday's coming though.
Oh, okay. So I didn't put any wine in his glass. You have it Propel. Mine is mixed with a little bit of diet. But today, Stanley, Shay, and myself, we're going to be sharing with you guys the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent, which are so many times used interchangeably.
Yes.
But they are actually very different.
Come on.
So, all right, not extremely different, but there is a difference, and we're here to educate you. So, Stanley, who is a new realtor, Shay is also a realtor, and I am also a realtor. But many times people refer to us as my agent. We're all agents.
Yes.
So talk about that a little bit, Shay.
Okay.
When you hear the term realtor, what comes to mind?
First, I want to say when I first got into real estate, I didn't know the difference. So I remember making a page real estate agent. And then I was like, when I got educated, no, I'm a realtor.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, no, I need to change that. But so one of the main differences is, well, I want to say this: when you're a real estate agent, you're still able to legally sell, buy, rent real estate because you are licensed. However, being a realtor, so being a realtor is different, and we'll go into that. I don't want to get deep into it, but I can say it's some benefits of being a realtor and joining the National Board Association of Realtors. I'm telling you.
Right. So realtors, we all go to school.
Yes.
We all go to school. When we have graduated, we actually have to attend a 3-hour code of ethics course.
Yes.
Okay. At the end of the course, we're given a certificate. We're also given the opportunity to take an oath. Oh, you guys her pen. So this is what it looks like, guys.
You get your little pen.
Yeah, you take the oath and you raise your right hand and you repeat what they tell you to say. Basically, the code of ethics.
Feel like you're in court.
Yeah, and it embodies the golden rule that says to do what you would have others to do to you. Those are the same things you need to do to your customers. So if you don't want anybody to rip you off, you shouldn't be ripping anybody off. And there is an array of things that's embodied in the code of ethics. So we take that oath. Real estate agents do not. The reason why is because they have not joined the National Association of Realtors.
Yes.
That is a board, it's a governing board within our system, within our industry, that enforces ethics.
Accountability for realtors.
Right, exactly. And it's important. If I had a decision, honestly, I'm in the business, so I know a little bit more, but if I were a rookie buyer or first time, I would literally seek out working with a realtor that's a part of the board, because if they mess up, I know that I have some kind of compensation or some kind of avenue for them to be held accountable. It's very difficult to do that. You practically have to sue real estate agents, and good luck with getting your judgment paid. At least if you sue a realtor, and I'm not telling you to do that.
But you still need to be educated and know that you can.
There is a fund that will compensate you based on what your judgment is. So we even get literature like this every month. We get this literature that says realtors on there. This keeps us up to date with changes in the industry, information that's important to running our business. Yes, and though the association does cost, and I can understand easily why some people don't pay. It's $800 a year.
But it can be broken down into 4 payments.
It can be.
Good. It made it affordable for us.
And I feel like if you don't want to invest in your business, that is your business as an agent if you don't want to invest in it. But at the same time, a lot of the complaints and a lot of the arrests about conflict of interest and fraud and different felonies and have you, it actually comes from people who are not governed because the window is so small to hold them accountable. And one encounter that I had literally when I first started, I actually met a person who was going around and showing houses and they were not licensed. They had been licensed at one time. So in the state of Florida, it is a third-degree felony.
Wow.
Yes. It's a third-degree felony to present yourself as a real estate agent or a realtor and conduct real estate transactions without a license.
One thing you said though that I love about being a realtor too is they teach us how to protect our clients. And I know we got the security man, we're gonna get into that later, but that right there, like, they just teach us how to protect ourselves, protect the client, and that's just everything. When it comes, you want to be out here not just making money, you want to be safe, or you won't enjoy your money.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
And there's a website you can go to protect yourself as a client, because even just this weekend, I had a call from a friend of mine telling me that there was somebody giving out the lockbox code to a property.
Happens all the time.
You have to see that as a red flag. If the agent is not willing to meet you at the property and they're easily giving you a code and telling you to go to the property and then send them money, red flag. Okay, red flag. So go to www.myfloridalicense.com. You can verify if your agent is licensed or not. You can also verify a license through the dbpr.com, okay, which is the state database that you can verify just about any profession that requires a license. But for real estate professionals specifically, you can go to www.myfloridalicense.com. So, with no further ado, we are going to lean on Realtor. And I just want to say, he is a wealth of information.
Yes, he is.
But while we're talking about Realtor, because we're going to start talking about safety next, say the word Realtor, Stanley. Say it.
Realtor.
Realtor. Say it straight.
I'm getting a realtor. Sign plan. Realtor.
There's a lot of different ways. I've heard realtor. I've heard realtor. I've heard. There's so many different.
Listen,
tell us the correct way to say it.
I don't even care what you call me. Just call me. Okay?
I know. Say that again. That's a good one.
You can call. I said I don't care if you call me. Just call me. I don't care if you call me a realtor or realtor.
Or if you just want to call me your agent.
Or an agent. Yeah. I hear it all the time. It's actually laughable because the word realtor only has 2 syllables. Realtor, not realtor, realtor. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Yes, most of us realtors can't even say it.
Yes, we can't say it. I mean, I can say it, but she's right. I hear it especially from a lot of realtors. They cannot say it.
I became a
properly.
I became a realtor like 3 years ago.
A realtor.
Oh
yeah. They're keeping it
And
real.
what is that?
Somebody that's keeping it real. They don't sell real estate. So Sandy, you're going to talk to us today about safety.
Yeah. So I work in the security business. I am a bouncer at night, and it is my job
to bounces.
So honestly, a lot of things that I feel like it's just natural to do to keep yourself safe. Like, for example, like if I'm going to a place, right, I naturally don't like people behind me, and there's very nice ways you can let them know. Like, me being a man, I always say, hey, you guys, I open the door for them. I make sure they go in first. I keep my back to a wall. I always keep them inside because, to deal with a problem, you got to see where it's coming from. That's one.
True.
2, I always lock the door, and I always know where every exit is, just in case.
Smart.
So, like, let's say, for example, you go inside, you don't lock the door. Somebody can easily come in there. Also, I always, on my way there, as I'm walking, I'm always scanning. I'm always looking at body language. I'm always looking at who's looking at me. I'm
good.
looking at why you're looking at me. And then I always let people know that I know you're looking at me, not in a confrontational way. I'll wave at them, hey, how you doing? Like if I see somebody in their car side eyeing me, I'm gonna, hey, how you doing, man? As I'm walking through. Just that simple, hey, I know you're looking at me. That can be a deterrent because most people, they want to catch you by surprise. If you let them know, hey, you're not surprising me, that it can stop a lot of things.
Them.
I do that in a restaurant. Like if I went to a restaurant once and all these guys were looking at me and I said hi.
Yeah, and then you quickly.
I do that driving. You know, some people trying to look in your car. I be like, roll the window down. Hey, y'all that.
Maybe we're too friendly.
Yeah, but honestly, like, let's say if like you were planning something bad, right, and you wanted to catch me by surprise, as I'm walking through, like if you feel like you're being sneaky, you feel like you got the upper hand, I just wave at you. That simple wave is like, oh, okay, let me try again. Let's go to plan B. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe they have compassion too. You know, like, gee, this person's so nice. Maybe I should have robbed them today.
9 times out of 10, they're gonna wave back. Most times, I want to be wrong. I don't want to be correct. Like this person is out to get me, right? But I want to be wrong. I want 10 out of 10 times when I wave to somebody, they wave back. Hey, how you doing?
Normal.
Yeah, but that one time when it's gonna happen. Well, let me not say it's gonna happen. God forbid. But that one time that it might happen, I want to be prepared. Right?
Yes.
So body language, facial expressions, always keep your head on a swivel, always looking at what's going on, and then always again, seeing. Now, let's say
speaking of preparations.
Yes.
Giving us some preparations.
That's preparations, right?
Yeah, there's
preparations.
There's all types of things. I highly advise females to keep this on your keychain. There's the nice little cute one you can get.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, there you have it. Always keep it on you.
Y'all know I'm dramatic.
I knew she would do that.
There's that option too. There's the
This
taser.
is a flashlight.
You think it's a flashlight?
It doubles as a taser.
I had one that was a telephone. And it literally,
really?
I had a telephone and then it'll pop you.
Well, this one you can detach the cord and plug it in. But you don't always have to keep this on here. It just turns on and off. But it's basically just a flashlight.
Ladies, get you one.
Yes.
Get you something.
Yeah.
And these are handy too, like Stanley says. Can I try it on you?
Oh, no.
That hurt.
It really does.
She's trying to send us to the eye doctor.
It really does. I had to get pepper spray in the military and in the police academy too. I kind of got out of the second pepper spray because I showed them my military card that I had already done it.
Man.
And those guys were so wicked to me. I wasn't about to go through that again. You've been tased?
I tased myself. I wanted to see how I felt.
Oh my God!
He's weird, y'all.
Do not encounter this guy.
I wanted to see
Pick
how I felt.
another target because he is
I boxed since I was 7.
certified. Yeah.
There's a couple of things I did. Let's just put it like that.
Then we got the knife here.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a knife.
It's okay.
Just don't,
These are a couple of things I actually pulled out of my purse. I got screwdrivers and a couple of wrenches in there, but we're talking about safety.
She called me today and said,
So Sandy is not one you want to attempt.
don't attempt to try saying she's coming. She's coming correct.
Shay's got makeup.
She said, what do you got in your purse, Shay, that protects you? I said, nothing, makeup. She told me, so we're going to have to get you something.
We have to get you something. You can take this home today. I
But
have a few of them.
you said something real key, though, is in keeping your eyes, on the people. And I want to say get there early. Because a lot of times we don't even get there. We pull up at the same time as the buyer and that is not smart. So I had to learn to get there early, go in there, and like he said, where the X is at. I need to know where the X is at. I need to lock the door. I need to be in control of the situation. And that's what I had to learn because I have been, when I first I believe my first showing, I got there at the same time, and then my GPS, you better make some time. I was lost. I'm like, this is crazy. Then you might have the lockbox issues. Just too much. If the person was bad, I could have been dead. Let's just say that.
Speaking of GPS, I actually called Sandy. I was doing a showing one time, and the realtor put the wrong address in. So I showed up. I don't understand how the people got there, like got to the right address.
Yeah, they got there before you.
Yeah, I was 40 minutes away.
Wow.
And I called them. I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, oh, where they at? And then they called me, hey, we're waiting for you. I'm like, no, I'm waiting for you. So always leave before time. And then if there is a confrontation, you're not there to win a fight. You're there to surprise them, create space, get to a safe distance.
Because the best way to handle a confrontation is
to not have one.
I learned that. Stanley reminds me of that. That's one of his favorite sayings.
Yeah, it is. So you never want to get into a full-out battle with somebody. No. If somebody's coming to attack you, or if it gets confrontational, obviously you want to de-escalate the situation. Words first, always.
Right? Verbal judo. That's what we call it in the police academy.
Tongue wrestle. There's a little different words.
So what do you do with this, Stanley? Like, that flashlight there, of course, we should not be going to properties when it's dark.
True.
And I confess I've done it a couple of times, but not, for strangers. It was actually done for people that I knew personally. Don't meet people at properties at nighttime because you saw in the news, there's been a couple of realtors that met individuals at properties and they were murdered.
Wow.
And this was by people they knew.
If you're licensed to carry, I carry.
You carry.
They got the app. We have the app. If you have the what's it called for the get the lock code. I'm trying to think. It's
the Supra.
The Supra. It's it is emergency button on the Supra that you can press that will literally alert the emergency.
Good
So that's good to know if you do got Supra. It's good to have Supra for that reason as well. I like it.
Which comes with your
subscription with the National Association of Realtors. Realtors have that access.
And so much more.
Yes.
To MLS, okay? So piggyback, and we're going to wrap this up soon and piggyback into that. We do have the access to the MLS. Real estate agents do not. They usually have to partner with one of us or with their broker to get information. That does
third party
apps. Yeah, it does the client a disservice because when it is you should be getting a particular property, you're missing out on that property because your realtor doesn't have access to that information soon enough. Yeah. So there is one thing, guys, that we forgot to mention. Before we even go out with a potential buyer, one of the things that I see buyers make a big stink about sometimes is not wanting to give us their pre-approval letter, not wanting to give us their proof of funds, or even an ID sometimes.
Yes, ID.
If you don't trust me,
I'm not going to trust you.
Yeah, if you don't trust me to give me an ID or a pre-approval letter when you're trying to utilize my services as a realtor, I am not going anywhere with you. I don't know who you are. You could be.
I can't trust you.
You could be a zero. I don't trust you.
And always alert not even alert. I'm not going to say that. Always let somebody know where you're going.
Yes. My daughter has me on track.
Y'all all on the safety tips. Y'all in it. See, listen, they just going and flowing.
Yeah, so it's not that we just want to get into your bank account information or your financial information. We have to create a file. We have to verify that you're actually a serious client or a serious customer before we put ourselves at risk of meeting you as a stranger at some strange place we've never been to before. So whenever I know the consensus is that I have a client right now. Well, I dropped him.
I dropped
him like that because he refused to give us his proof of funds.
Wow.
And
mine was even worse. It was a lady, and it was for a rental. And the rental agreement contract, it asked for a couple of things, and she was like, "I don't want to disclose that info. When I see the house, then I'll do it." I'm like,
I had to drop one. I had to drop one because of that same reason. I was like, all they want to do is ask they wanted to go a little bit more deeper in the background because they seen something that concerned them and they weren't willing. So what do? They want to make sure they got somebody safe in their home, somebody that's legal, so that they won't get in trouble. So sometimes we have to ask for you to do certain things just to protect, us or protect the seller, or the landlord.
Every realtor, I know when I got my license, they send you it on email. If you don't trust, like if they don't have a physical copy, because they're always going to have a digital copy. If you don't trust your realtor or real estate agent, just ask for that. And Sandy already showed you the website where you can verify.
Yes.
I mean, it's so easy. I know there's a lot of scams going on and people are afraid of that. So if you don't want to give up your information first, kindly just ask your realtor. And if your realtor doesn't feel like comfortable giving you their license number, their name, and their address,
red flag.
Yeah, that's not a realtor. That's not a real estate agent. That's a scam. Now, if you ask them and they, like me, if you ask me, quickly, boom, 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 I'll give you a picture. Obviously, I'm going to block out the important stuff on my ID too.
Yes.
You can look me up. All right?
All right. So thank you. We're going to wrap it up because this can go on.
We do have to tell one story. We got to tell our story.
See, I was trying to wrap it up before
We got to tell the story. And another thing I want to say, I always say, meet your client at the office first. You always meet your client somewhere public first and get to know them, have a little talk, know. So I just want to say that for realtors, and just don't be meeting at houses.
So we're ending before she tells that story.
You don't want to tell that story crazy. We got to tell it. Let people know how
we're going to leave out telling this story.
Right.
It was.
What crazy?
It involved a parrot.
You started off.
I'll start.
It involved a parrot, a
and it was all three of us, and it was not longer.
Okay, so a seller friend of mine asked us to go over to a property and basically just assess the property and see what we could list it on the market for, what repairs need to be done, because we're experts on those things. We do a lot of sprucing and selling so that you can max out on your profits. So I decided, well, we'll grab Stanley and Shay. I'll grab Stanley and Shay. We'll go together. I had never been to this property before. And when we got there, we punched in the garage code.
No. You gotta tell it how it is.
I'm trying to tell it. Okay. Oh, Lord.
We went to the front door first, and we knocked.
We did the police knock, too.
No, it's not even that. So the seller told us, just punch in the code at the garage, da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's when I was like, well, no. First we were like, let's go to the front door. Just in case somebody's there, they let us in. So we knock. 1, 2. Right? We wait. Then we knock again. All right.
It was more like.
No, that was the third one.
The third knock is
the third one is when I was like, all right, just to make sure. Knock. No one's home. All right, now we're following.
Except the cat in the window.
Yes.
Correct. There was a cat. Then we followed the seller's instruction. Mind you, in those instructions, nobody's supposed to be home.
No one's supposed to be home.
That's a key point in this story. We wanted to make sure, so we knocked. So we go to the garage. We're talking. We're having fun. Well, we're being jovial. We're having fun. We punch in the code. The garage opens. No problem. Then we go there into the second door inside the garage.
To go into the kitchen.
Correct. We opened that. First off, it didn't have a lock. It didn't have a knob.
It didn't have a knob.
So we pushed it politely. And then we take like 2 steps in. We hear.
We said realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said realtor.
We announced ourselves too.
Yes.
Nothing. We take a step in. We hear a voice like, hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. I'm like, Sandy, quick question. Nobody's supposed to be home, right?
First we were out of there. We're not like those people in the movies that stay around. We were
deuces by Felicia.
Correct. I was like, Sandy, nobody's supposed to be home, right? Yeah, mind you, I look back to ask Sandy the question. She's already walked into the car. I'm like, all right, let me follow suit. So
I'm out.
we go to the car, and then that's when we're like, nobody's supposed to be here. Let me call this. Sandy calls the seller.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he said, is there a white BMW in there? I'm like, and then there was no car in the driveway. And she's like, no car is there. He was like, then nobody's supposed to be here. And then that's when Sandy was like, somebody's there. And obviously there was.
Help!
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 You sounded like an elderly woman, right?
Yeah, it sounded like someone
But
was being abused or.
Right, I was like, we gotta save them. I felt like a superhero. I said, we have to save whoever it is.
That's what you felt. I felt like
Anyone that got his weapon.
I was like,
He like, somebody go down.
I'm
This
like,
is so funny. This
and then
is
that's
stuff
when-
realtors go through.
we asked the seller like 3 times, you sure? And he's like, yeah. I'm like,
No one's there.
and then Cindy was like, I heard help. I'm like, I heard hello, but if you heard help, but hey, let's go. I'm like,
So we
we
went back.
should leave. And then that's when everybody was like, we should go.
Yeah.
So we went back, and when we
this
went
time
back,
we went back. Again, I carried. So I made sure I had what I carried. So I'm like, okay.
So I was like, it was back in my remind me of my police days.
I'm like,
Sandy was like,
okay. And then that's when, mind you, she has the seller on the phone. Yeah, nobody's supposed to be there. Everybody's supposed to be gone. He already letting everybody know. And we heard help.
I was like, unless the cat talks,
right.
which
there's no way.
Yeah.
Or unless there's a ghost in this
So
house
have
or
y'all
something.
guessed what it was yet?
They probably haven't.
Right.
So we're like, hello, realtor. I'm telling people, I'm like, hey, somebody's here. Is anybody home? Nobody answers.
Help!
And then that's when I'm like, all right, this is weird. So I'm like, I prepare. I'm like, look, if you put me in a situation where it's me or you, it's gonna be you.
All day.
And I let everybody know that. Hey, I'm real nice, I'm real friendly, but hey, listen, man, not the way.
Let's just say the parrot, the talking parrot.
The talking parrot.
That big talking parrot almost lost his life.
We stepped in and it was a parrot.
I saw
In a
it
cage.
I saw it in a reflection from
The cage was almost bigger than the house.
yeah. From the living room, I saw the reflection from the mirror on the wall, and I was like, that's a bird. Oh, crap. All right.
The bird sounded just like a human. And I'm telling you, like an elderly woman. And
I hear they mimic the voice of their owners.
Right.
But I was like, seller.
It was so crazy. It was so
At
funny.
some point, were you going to ever tell me, in all the 3 times I called you, that there was a big talking parrot in this house?
He called her a baby.
He called us a baby. He picked on us for
He said, oh,
running.
you're supposed to be a police officer. Dude, that was in my former life. I'm a real estate agent. Okay? I'm not risking. Anyway.
So, y'all, that is what I'm telling you. That's what we go through as realtors. Be safe, even from the birds.
Thank you for joining us again. Next week, we will have our inspector to talk to us about home inspectors, Andy Wilson from Excel Home Inspections. Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I really love you guys.
All right, have a
We love you too.
I'm gonna gulp this one. I know it's called sips, but I'm gulping that.
It's okay. I don't think you sipped any this whole time.
I did like 3-4 times.